news hour on Ifako Radio. Good morning, I'm Olanireti. The major headlines: diplomatic tensions. FG pushes back as US, UAE tighten visa rules. Rescued Bayelsa judge says government not involved in abduction. EFCC seeks law to criminalize unexplained wealth. Demand for special seats for women meant to strengthen democracy. Sports. Move to EPL now or regret it. Olise warns Osimhen. Entertainment. Charlie Boy urges Nigerians to help save ailing Nollywood veteran Njemanze. News in detail. Diplomatic tensions. FG pushes back as US, UAE tighten visa rules. The federal government has expressed concern over the recent decision by the United States to impose tighter visa restrictions on Nigerian citizens, describing the move as disproportionate, calling for reconsideration in the spirit of mutual respect and cooperation. This comes just as the United Arab Emirates imposed tougher entry conditions for Nigerian travelers, banning transit visa applications entirely. According to new directives from Dubai Immigration, Nigerians aged 18 to 45 will no longer be eligible for tourist visas unless accompanied, while those aged 45 and above must provide a 6-month personal bank statement showing at least $10,000 monthly balance before they are granted visas. On Wednesday, the British High Commissioner in Abuja also announced a change to the United Kingdom's immigration process for Nigerians applying for study and work visas. The announcement by the US Department of State in Abuja on Tuesday that effective July 8, 2025, most non-immigrants and non-diplomatic visas issued to Nigerians will now be valid for only 3 months and limited to a single entry, sparked the FG's reaction. The US government had announced a revision to its visa reciprocity schedule for Nigeria, limiting the validity of certain non-immigrant visas, including the B1, B2, and J and F categories, to just 3 months and restricting them to single entry. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimiebi Ebienfa, confirmed to The Punch that the government was closely examining the new directive and its potential implications. Rescued Bayelsa judge says government not involved in abduction. The rescued Bayelsa State Judge, Justice Ebierin Omokoro, has absolved the state government of any involvement in his kidnapping in a thank you he made post on Facebook. Omokoro spent 12 days in captivity after gunmen seized him at an eatery on June 21 and was rescued on July 3 through collaborative efforts by the government and security agencies. While he was in captivity, there were insinuations that the matter of his kidnapping was suggestive of government involvement, while others alleged it was linked to a judgment he delivered in a high-profile case. Omokoro wrote on Wednesday, "However, for record purposes, I wish to emphasize that conspiracy theories peddled about alleged government involvement in my kidnapping are not correct, as my abductors were clearly propelled by the desire to collect a ransom rather than to do any harm to me. Indeed, they did not have any idea about who or what I was, and certainly nothing about my identity as a judge, as they had assumed from the nature of the car I drove that I was a politician. In the circumstances, I can safely say that my kidnapping was random and had nothing to do with any judgment I had delivered earlier. Rest assured, however, that my commitment to justice dispensation remains unshakable." EFCC seeks law to criminalize unexplained wealth. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, yesterday sought the backing of the National Assembly to legislate against unexplained wealth. He said Nigeria cannot win the anti-corruption war without the legal backing to hold public officers accountable for assets far beyond their legitimate earnings. Olukoyede spoke at the National Conference on Public Accounts and Fiscal Governance organized by the Public Accounts Committees of the Senate and House of Representatives in Abuja. The EFCC chairman described the magnitude of public sector corruption as disturbing. Olukoyede described fiscal rascality and mismanagement of public resources as a core driver of Nigeria's economic woes and security challenges. Olukoyede recounted how investigations into public officers' acts of malfeasance were often stalled because the law still requires a predicate offense, a specific crime such as theft or fraud, before assets could be seized or charges filed. Help me pass the unexplained wealth bill. I've been begging for the past year. This same bill was thrown out by the last assembly. If we don't make individuals accountable for what they have, we'll never get it right. Someone has worked in a ministry for 20 years. We calculate their entire salary and allowances. Then we find 5 properties, 2 in Maitama, 3 in Asokoro. Yet we are told to go and prove a predicate offense before we can act. That is absurd, he said. Demand for special seats for women meant to strengthen democracy. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has said that granting special seats for women in the legislature should not be seen as a form of charity, but as a way of strengthening the nation's democracy. Mrs. Tinubu spoke at an interactive dialogue session on the special seat bill for women at the 2025 Open National Assembly Week organized by the House of Representatives. The First Lady noted that women have been underrepresented for too long in the affairs of the nation. Represented by the chairman of the House Committee on Women Affairs, Kafilat Ogbara, Senator Tinubu applauded the efforts of the 10th House of Representatives in pushing for the reservation of special seats for women in the states and the National Assembly. She pledged to continue to support initiatives that promote women's political empowerment, education, and economic inclusion. Senate passes 3 concurrence bills from Reps. The Senate yesterday passed 3 concurrence bills from the House of Representatives during plenary. This followed the presentation of the bills by Senate Leader Okoyemi Bamidele. They include the Chartered Institute of Auctioneers of Nigeria Bill 2025, the Broadcasting Practitioners Bill 2025, and the Federal College of Health Technology, Benin Sheikh Borno State Establishment Bill 2025. Sports. Move to EPL now or regret it, Olise warns Osimhen. Former Super Eagles captain Sunday Olise has warned Victor Osimhen, urging the Napoli striker to make a swift move to the English Premier League or risk living with regret over a missed opportunity. The 1996 Olympic gold medalist took to social media on Wednesday to share his thoughts on the Nigerian forward's transfer situation amid ongoing uncertainty over his next destination. Victor Osimhen is at a very delicate crossroad. He needs to find his way to the Premier League in a hurry, or he risks so much regret. Manchester United and Arsenal need this player if only, Olise wrote on his X handle. Olise's comments come at a time when Osimhen's expected big money move to the Premier League appears increasingly unlikely, despite his impressive goal-scoring record and reduced release clause. Charlie Boy urges Nigerians to help save ailing Nollywood veteran Njimanzi. Veteran showbiz maestro and activist Charlie Oputa, popularly known as Charlie Boy, has appealed to Nigerians of goodwill to provide financial support for ailing veteran Nollywood actor Tom Njimanzi. He made the call in an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria on Wednesday in Abuja. Njimanzi recently disclosed in a viral video online that he was undergoing treatment for prostate cancer at a medical facility and called on Nigerians for urgent support to help fund his surgery. Charlie Boy, who confirmed that Njimanzi had been diagnosed with prostate cancer, said the actor needs urgent surgery that costs millions. He said, "Our Nollywood icon, Tom Njimanzi, the legendary actor you watched in Isakaba and Osofia in Lagos, is in a hospital bed fighting for his life. Prostate complications are draining him, and he needs urgent surgery that costs millions. How many more legends must we lose before we start showing up for our own? This isn't just about Tom. It's about the value we place on those who give us joy, laughter, and unforgettable stories." stories, he said. Davido slams troll, surprises fan with business support. Music star Davido has hit back at online trolls after a critic made a personal attack on his family in a bid to ridicule the Grammy-nominated singer. While one fan tried to advise him to ignore the troll, Davido, clearly frustrated, reacted sharply and even threatened to unfollow her. However, after the fan apologized and explained her good intentions, Davido softened his stance. In a surprising turn of events, he offered to support her by helping set up a shop. He reached out to her via direct message, asking for the cost of the shop and her account details, demonstrating generosity despite the heated exchange. "Let's build you a new shop. DM me," he wrote. Recap of the major headlines. Diplomatic tensions. FG pushes back as US, UAE tighten visa rules. Rescued Bayelsa judge says government not involved in abduction. EFCC seeks law to criminalize unexplained wealth. Demand for special seats for women meant to strengthen democracy. Sports. Move to EPL now or regret it, Olise warns Osimhen. Entertainment. Charlie Boy urges Nigerians to help save ailing Nollywood veteran Njimanzi. Follow us on all our social media handles: Facebook at Ifako Radio, X at Ifako Radio, YouTube at Ifako Radio, WhatsApp at Ifako Radio, Instagram at Ifako_radio. For news reporting, contact us at ifakoradio@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp 091 22 22 7433. Special thanks to the news producer Olanireti and assistant news producer Binga Farumbi. Thanks for watching. I'm Olanireti Ololade. Have a lovely day. God bless Ifako.